Stay on this. Let's speak now to Ryan Bolt from Philadelphia. He's a senior Middle East and North Africa analyst at RAIN, which is a global risk intelligence platform. Welcome to the News Hour. A lot of developments right now. Why do you think Donald Trump has imposed visa bans on members of the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian Liberation Organisation, accusing them of undermining peace efforts?
Well, I certainly don't think the timing is an accident. It is coming on the groundswell of recognition for the state of Palestine from key countries, as your report noted, like the UK and Canada. And they are trying to signal that the United States' position has not changed, and that in spite of its allies switching positions on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and moving more towards overtly recognizing Palestine and perhaps putting more pressure on Israel, Washington's position is going to remain consistent. It will remain pro-Israel, and that if there is an attempt to change the status of this conflict at the United Nations General Assembly in September, the United States will remain resolute in its veto of such a policy move.
Just, the reasoning for this, as you say, it is linked to the potential recognition of statehood, but who would then lead Gaza or the Palestinians? And is there a distinction even between who's running the occupied West Bank and Gaza here?
Well, I think that that it is important to note that these sanctions don't cut off financial transactions for the Palestinian Authority. And so it is in some ways a symbolic sanctioning of the PA and the PLO. It's designed, again, to send that signal that the U.S. is not going to recognize a Palestinian state in whatever comes next this September. But that being said, they don't want to cut off the real support for the PA that is critical for Israel to maintain some of that sense of security in the West Bank. From the American perspective, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is sort of up in flux in terms of the consensus. For many decades, it was the two-state solution. Then we started to move to a de facto one-state solution. Then the Gaza war began in 2023. And I don't think Washington has caught up to events on the ground to formulate a coherent policy. We know what the Israelis under this government want. They want a one-state solution, probably with ethnic cleansing out of the Gaza Strip and potentially out of the West Bank. Does Washington want the same thing? Parts of Trump's base are suggesting that they don't, that they think this is Israel's problem and Israel has to pay for it. On the other hand, the White House so far has proven to be a very strong backer of the right-wing and far-right policies enacted by Benjamin Netanyahu.
And Ryan, just remind us, of course, we're reporting the amount of countries that say they want to recognize a Palestinian state in September, and those that have already said that they will. But ultimately, it is the US, isn't it, that will have that ultimate say?
Exactly. This all goes through Washington still. Britain and France and Germany especially, they do have some economic and even military leverage over the Israelis, but it's probably not enough to convince Israel to move away from its current Gaza strategy, which involves this famine policy and this potential annexations that they're now floating to pressure Hamas. On the other hand, if the United States moves even in a symbolic way to threaten that leverage, military and economic leverage over Israel, it would likely result in an almost immediate strategic shift for the Israeli government. It might even result in political change inside of Israel. It could collapse Netanyahu's government and force early elections. But we still don't see that likely to happen. Again, the Trump administration really seems to believe they should let the Israelis figure this out on their own, and that it's not their ideology or their position to be telling the Israelis what to do. But that is very much a minority position in the international community.
Ryan Bolt, thank you very much indeed for your time today. Speaking to us live there from Philadelphia, North Africa, senior Middle East and North Africa analyst at RAIN. Really appreciate it. Thank you.